Hey friends, this is T again with another reaction video, and today we're going to be talking about everybody seem to be moving overseas to live, especially Gen Zers, right? Because the way of life in America is starting to become really bad for so many people now that everybody are considering to live overseas, and those thoughts have also crossed my mind as well. Now, it's not that I'm having a terrible time. It's like, well, it's pretty rough for everybody right now. Of course, it's up to rich, of course, right? And the really, 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 really rich. But everybody else, people are struggling. Everything is more expensive now. We're talking about buying a car. We're talking about, food, talking about places to live. Renting is going up. And even if you own a house, taxes are going up. You're just spending more money these days, right? And then they taking all this money, not only out of taxes, man, and spending on things they want to spend it on, but also, man, it's just the quality of life is just going down too. The food is bad. Cities are going down the tubes. It's just getting bad. And even though it's not so terrible for people just to leave, because some people may ask, well, I know things are bad around the United States and things are going wrong and, it's getting expensive and everything else, but it's not that bad. Well, it's not yet that bad, but it's getting that bad, okay? To the point where people are starting to see the writing on the wall now. They're starting to understand maybe this is not the place I need to live. Now, if you want to count also people doing a lot of remote work these days, they're able to travel. But, they pulled the rug out from under a lot of people right now because there's a lot of layoffs. And from my understanding, a lot of people that got laid off are the people that didn't want to stop doing remote work when they started demanding it for them to come back to the office, and they didn't want to do it. So they decided to lay them off, which is, some people may argue that was the plan, all along. Okay. So there's a lot of underhanded stuff going on. People can't get jobs. Now everything expensive. I mean, what a bad time for everything to be so expensive when you can't even get a job. You're getting laid off left and right. So people are considering the options now. They want to just go somewhere else where, they're treated best. I got that from a YouTuber, man. He's great. You should check him out. The Nomad Capitalist. Yeah, he's good. That's one of his famous sayings. I love watching his videos and that saying too. But it's so true, right? Why stay in the place where you're not making enough money, or your money's not going far enough for you, right? Now, if you're good, if you got like investments and stocks and some kind of real estate portfolio, that might help you out in the long run. But in the end, still, the quality of life is just getting bad here. I mean, look, America is still the greatest country in the world right now. I mean, we got a lot better than anybody else at this moment. But as you can see, things are getting worse. So if you're able to make money and take that money that you're making, I don't care if it's like real estate, I don't care if it's Social Security, I don't care what it is, right? And be able to go somewhere else where things are less expensive, but yet it's good quality things like the food, and you're not paying that much in rent and all these other things. Your money will go further and you'll have a better life. Okay, and this is what this video is about. This is about this young lady, a Gen Zer, who decided to leave, and she's going to give her reasons why she decided to leave. And she's not just leaving, man. From my understanding, she's just leaving permanently. Okay, all right, let's go ahead and get into this video. But before we do, please like, subscribe, and share this video, and don't forget to hit that notification bell. That way whenever we come out with new videos. Okay, all right, let's get started.
I thought I would fall in love with America and the American dream of progressing and making something of yourself and feeling proud. I came to the realization recently that I actually didn't want this life. In some ways it's very disappointing, but in other ways I'm very accepting of that dream being dead, and I'm just ready to make new dreams.
Rania Saleh is a first-gen American. She was born in Virginia. Her parents are Palestinian and lived in Falls Church, Virginia when they first came to the U.S. She spent her childhood in Jordan before coming back to America when she was 15. Rania attended American University on a full-ride scholarship and graduated in 2022 with a degree in public health. After struggling with job security and her health, she's decided to pack up her entire life and leave the US for good.
I graduated, immediately started working, but I have lupus, so my go was kind of forcibly stopped. I had to quit my job just because my lupus was getting really bad, and I worked with a lot of lupus patients, and that was really affecting my mental health.
The United States is kind of the hub of autoimmune disorders. There were 10 many years ago, and just in America, we've developed over 100 kinds.
She shared her story of living with an autoimmune disease.
I mean, that's crazy, right? I mean, you looking at this situation where you don't know if the food is poisoning you, because every time you turn around, they're trying to introduce something new into your food supply. You know, the water, you're not sure if that's pure. Even if you buy a filter, you're not sure if it's getting all this lead out of it or whatever, right? So many things. You know, trains going off tracks and poisoning people's lakes and everything else. It's just so much. And yet everybody's all of a sudden just coming up with so many different types of diseases. And this thing, lupus, 2 of my sisters caught lupus. Who knows how? Nobody can really explain how people get lupus all of a sudden. It just came out of the blue. You know what I mean? So it's just crazy stuff, man, is going on right now in the United States. And people, you know, you might say people are getting paranoid, but come on, what's going on? You see things in the news, you find out they're doing all this stuff behind the scenes. You don't know what's going on. Then after a while, then, you know, like, I don't know how many of you have lived overseas, but when I lived overseas, I felt a whole lot healthier than I did here. You know, I knew the food that I was eating. I was never paranoid about it. Except the food, you know, you ate at your job, you know what I mean? So you don't know where they get that stuff from. I'm talking about when I was like in Germany, man, and I actually went out to the restaurants, you know, in the city. The food was delicious, man. And, you know, it was what it was. But you don't know what they doing these days, you know? And the sad part is they give you even less of it. You buy a box of cereal. I went out and bought a box of cereal, man. It's so freaking thin right now. These boxes like that. Okay? They used to be big or whatever. Now they like that. And then they call in the ones that even close to the regular size back in the day are family size. And you're still paying a lot for that. The fruits just spoiling real fast. I mean, it's just different. If you haven't lived overseas, you wouldn't know the difference, but there is a difference. That's why so many people in the United States are so unhealthy right now. And people are wondering why they're getting sick all of a sudden. Just out of nowhere, they're catching things, you know? It's crazy. And like cancer is like crazy in the United States right now, right? Then you go to certain Eastern countries, man, they hardly have any cancer patients there. Cause they eat regular food, nothing's in their food, is no pollution going on. I mean, it's something's going on in the United States that people are getting sick for whatever reason. It is, to me, I don't think it's just natural. Okay, and obviously most people think so too as well. Cause this woman felt like she needed to leave the United States in order to be more healthier.
Disease on TikTok, and it drew over 2.5 million viewers.
Guys, I kid you not. I went to my rheumatologist today.
He was anticipating that a lot of my stress would go away when I move abroad, and therefore my lupus would get better, and also the quality of food.
He kept saying, I'm so happy for you. I'm so happy for you.
Ain't that something else? Your doctor saying that kind of stuff, right? You like, yeah, get out of here, man, because it's not doing you any good. Because people are working to death, especially these Gen Zers now. They can barely get a job, and the job they get, they don't get paid much. And then they got them overworking, and then they can't afford anything, any real quality of life. So it's not surprising that so many people want to leave. It's not surprising at all. And if you're able to, if you got the money and you're able to survive in another country, that's great. But see, another fear is, because my sister said something to me, well, what happens if what's going on in the United States spread into these other countries or whatever country you decide to live in? That's a worry. But you know what? That's future stuff. I'm only worried about what's going on right now. You know, I know that I'm living this experience right now. And if I can find something better, I'm going to do that. And I don't blame this woman, man. Look, she's Palestinian. There's a lot going on with that situation with Israel. You know, she might not mention it in this video, but that might have also to do with her leaving as well. I don't want to make that assumption, but that's possible. All I'm saying. So, but I'm sure the other reasons too are legit. She just done with this place, man. You can't get a job. Everything they told you was a lie. They keep telling you life is better. There's no inflation. Everything's great. You can do whatever you want. You got the power when it comes down to the job dynamic. But that's not the case at all. People can't afford nothing. People can't get jobs. And now you're going to take an entry-level job and they're going to pay you nothing, but they're going to work you to death. And you got to have, 5-10 years experience, even though you never had a job before? And then you owe college tuitions, man. God knows how much money that this girl got to pay back. But right now, I think what she's hyper-focused right now on is her health. I think that's very important.
Even with her degree and certifications, Rania said she couldn't land a professional job.
Here I am unemployed, pursuing my master's. I have many certificates aside from my bachelor's degree, and I can't even land like an administrative position.
What made you realize you needed to leave?
I think the past 5 months where I hit 500 job applications, I got so depressed because I blamed myself. I felt valueless. I felt like my existence didn't matter.
Yeah, because you feel that way. You feel like a failure. You work hard every day to try to get something, but you don't have anything. You're sitting home most of the time. You can't barely go out. You're constantly worried about money. You don't know if you're going to be able to keep your home. You lose your car. People's cars are being repoed left and right and stuff. It's like get to a point where do you even really need a car anymore, right? Now, you go to another city or you go to, overseas, right? Their transportation situations are like fabulous. Like Japan, you probably can travel anywhere on a train. And when I was in Germany, man, I was like, you can take all kind of public transportation, man. You feel safe too. It ain't like when you go to New York, man, and you're scared you might get hit over the head with a stick or something, right? They places are clean and, you can just travel and not have any issues. You don't even need a car. It's just, like I say, man, all the luxuries of you getting these jobs are starting to slowly slip away. People are not getting the things that they want or dream about. The American dream, man, that's dead now. And it ain't dead. It's just slowly dying. Okay, it's that rodent laying in the street after getting hit by a car, still alive, but it's gonna die in the end, right? It's slowly losing breath. And that's what happened to the American dream right now. It got hit by a car and it's just dragging it along, dragging his legs, man, to the point there's nothing nobody wants. The only people that's getting what they want are the people that's like billionaires or whatever, right? They're making all the decisions for everybody else. And it's unfortunate, man. And we in situations where a lot of the cases we vote for the stuff on our own. Either we don't vote or we vote things that's bad for us. It's terrible. Terrible.
One day I was just speaking to my father and he actually suggested, he's like, you're not stuck there. You know that, right?
So where are you going and when will you be moving?
So I am moving next week. I'm going to end up in Qatar. I have my sister there. She moved there a few years ago from London and her life got so much better. She's very, very happy, very financially stable. And so it just seemed like the perfect option. It checked all my boxes.
Like I said, she's Palestinian. Most likely she's Muslim. I'm assuming all Palestinians are Muslim. Well, you can't say all of them, but you know what I mean, right? Most of them live in Muslim countries. So that sounds like a Muslim country. So this is possibly part of her religion. And her sister probably happy there. If they don't mind wearing, being covered up and following the rules in that country, then I don't see a problem. So that's probably where she want to go. And like I say, people are becoming more spiritual now. And though it's always in the news that people are like rejecting spirituality, they're rejecting Christianity, all this kind of stuff, right? But because of what's going on in the world right now, people are trying to find meaning in life. And that usually take them back to some type of spirituality. Me, Christian. Okay, I mean, I've been a Christian before all the stuff happening. With experiences in my life that led me to Christ, right? So a lot of people are just looking for that same meaning. And you're not getting it in the United States because they actively trying to kill it. I mean, did you not see the opening of the Olympics? They tell you right there, man, how they feel about religion. Right there in a nutshell, especially Christianity. So it's like they're trying to kill anything. They're trying to take any type of hope away from you. anything. You got nothing to look forward to. You can't afford anything. You can't even go to God without them trying to crush that. So she probably feel like, you know what, she wanted to live the remaining of her life with some meaning and some dignity. And like I say, United States, unfortunately, which is a great country right now, but it's slowly dying, like I said. They're trying to take all these things away from you over money and greed and perversions. It's a sad thing, man. I mean, there's a lot of people getting to this point right now, but they just done. Look, I can't get a job here. I'll just go somewhere else. I'll take my skills somewhere else and stuff. And then just like nomad capitalists, man, some people are just giving up their citizenship altogether. So, I don't know if I'll get to that part when I'll just give up my citizenship, but who knows, right? I go to another country and I love it so much I don't want to leave, or I love the traveling. Like I say, man, go where you're treated best. Why stay in a place where everything is just failing around you?
Rania says it was hard to make ends meet in DC.
Rent is always a huge stressor. My car payments. On a day-to-day, it looks like your friend's asking you out to eat and you say, actually, I can't. It's going to the grocery store and looking for the deals.
Though inflation shows signs of cooling, food prices went up 3.3% from May 2020.
But this current administration telling you everything great because they're leaders. They rich. They don't know. No, they don't go out and buy their own bread. They got people doing that crap for them. But yet they sitting around telling people everything fantastic. You ain't got no worries. And we want to even do more for you after the election if we get nominated, if we win. We want to even do more of what we're doing to you right now. And there's a lot of people that's suffering right now that want more, which is insane. It's insane. But you know what? You can't tell people what to do. People make up their own mind. Maybe they like a chaotic world or whatever. Who knows what the reason is? But a lot of people sound like they made up their mind about how they want to live. So some people are saying, you know what? I don't want to live this way, so I'm leaving. If I can't change anything with my vote, if I can't go to my elected officials and get real change, then I'm just going to leave. I'm sure this woman tried everything. She went to college, become a doctor, a nurse or something, right? She worked her butt off. Now she don't got a job. She can't afford anything, man. I mean, she's not a failure. It's just what's going on right now in the world today that she can't succeed. And now she got to make the best decision for herself, and that is to leave.
2023 to May 2024, according to the USDA. Rent has steadily increased since the pandemic. One study by the New York Fed estimates that Gen Zers on average have about $21,000 of student debt. And we just aren't working with the same setup as our parents and grandparents.
Yeah, I mean, houses, man, God, I heard people used to buy houses for $50,000. That's like $400,000, $500,000 now. Rent going up, and you can't always blame the landlords because they're getting taxed to death. So they have to raise their rent. I mean, it's insane right now. People are really, really hurting right now to the point where a lot of people are taking their own retirements. They could leave it all to their kids or whatever. But, now they just selling their houses or whatever and just leaving the country, man. Taking that money and trying to live a better life. Because that's where it coming down to. People just want to live a good, peaceful life. And to be able to afford the things that they like and enjoy. They don't want these things taken away from you because if you take these things away, what's the point of working? Nobody want to do that. That's why so many people are leaving their country and try to come to the United States. But they're not coming to the United States for the good living. They come in the United States to try to get some money in their pockets because that's where the United States have become a factory now. It's a factory. People just want, to come here just to make money so they can send it back home. But they don't want to stay here long term. They just want to get things together so they can have some options. And that's what people want, freedom and options. To be able to not only take care of themselves, but take care of their children, give them something, some type of life. Public schools are crap. They doing all kind of crazy stuff there. Everybody getting sick and everybody if they're not paying student loans, they paying high doctor bills. I mean, if you don't got nothing really set up, because the United States basically teach you to fail. If you're not rich, they basically teach you to fail. then you're screwed here. You're screwed. And this girl did everything she felt like she should have done to be successful, and yet she still has to leave.
Incomes have not kept up with home prices.
The American dream as a promise that if you as an individual work hard and you will put all your efforts into making it out in the United States, the outcome is guaranteed. Well, that's not the case. Almost 20% of all immigrants around the world are in the United States.
Batalova says the exact number of Americans living abroad is hard to pin down, but the UN estimates that almost 3 million Americans live in other countries, which is an increase of over 1.2 million people since the 90s.
Now you'd be wondering, okay, why would anybody leave these countries that America can go into? I mean, think about it for a second. So many people are moving to Mexico, but yet a lot of people in Mexico are trying to get to the United States. What it is that people want to be here first to make the money, or some type of real estate or something, some kind of money that can continue to come in or make a lot of that money. So they're able to go back and live in these countries. Because all these Mexican people that leave in Mexico are the ones that seem to can't make it in Mexico. The ones that don't have any money, that don't have these opportunities that they need to be successful. So they come to the United States hoping to find that. But it's going to get to the point where it's not even going to be anything for these people. Because right now, you look at New York, man, right now, people just sleeping on the streets, man. They ain't got no job. Granted, they're not citizens still, but they was hoping for something better when they came over here. I mean, the trek over here is dangerous, especially for women and children. And to finally get here and then still have nothing, some of them say they wish they never left. And then the country that they're coming from, a lot of them are corrupt. So it's like they backs are against the wall here. It's terrible. It's a terrible situation. But people, like I say, man, they want to go somewhere where they can make the money. And that's what men used to do back in the day. When they couldn't make money in their hometown or whatever, they would travel. Even when they had families, they would travel. Like when you watch The Little House on the Prairie, sometimes the father had to leave somewhere and work a job so he can maintain the farm. So you got to go somewhere where you can make that money and then bring it back home. And when things start to get better, then you can just go home and then just, live with how many years before things get bad again. You know what I mean? Because nothing's consistent. Even if they seem to fix some of the situations going on right now in the United States, doesn't mean it's going to stay that way. So people are making plans now. They're starting to realize maybe, I can take this money that I made here because, I made good with the time I spent in the United States. And now I can just go somewhere and just use this retirement money or disability money or money that I save in the stocks or whatever the situation is and just live out the rest of my days in comfort. You know what I mean? That's starting to sound like the new dream now. Not the American dream. This is a whole new dream.
Rania says she'll be keeping her American citizenship and will continue to pay taxes. But while she still has the right to vote, she's not planning on it.
I think American politics is a joke. Even if I had stayed, I wouldn't have voted in that election either. I think we're seeing that no matter which party is in power, no matter which face it is, it's kind of the same system.
Do you think there are any rights that you'll be giving up once you move to Qatar?
On the outside, it might seem like I am giving up my right to the democracy and to that kind of freedom, to say whatever I want, to do whatever I want. I think we have the illusion of freedom in America. I am going to a semi-conservative monarchy. That being said, I am happy to give up my right to vote as a trade for a significantly better quality of life.
That's interesting. And, women fought to vote for a long time. Feminism told them, you need the right to vote. And men voted because they not only own land, but they also, I think it was a condition to own land. I may be wrong. You can correct me. But also definitely you had to go to war. But then women just wanted the right to vote, even though they didn't have to go to war. But either way it goes, now they wanted jobs and careers and all this kind of stuff. But slowly these things are being taken away from women. And the meaning is starting to slip away. You heard what she said, right? She willing to give up her right to vote and certain type of freedoms in the United States to go to a place that's highly conservative. She don't seem like a conservative person. To me, she seemed like, and might be wrong, but she seemed liberal in a way. So going to a place that's going to be completely different than where she's coming from. Who knows if she stayed there? She might move to another place after a while. But she's young and she need to get her footing. She's just trying to figure things out. And she's going to go where family is. Her sister happy over there, so she can go there for a while. She might decide to go somewhere else, go to the Philippines or something after a while. But right now, you can't advance here the way you want. If you don't got nothing in place by now, it's going to be very difficult to get something in place. Like I said, a lot of Gen Zers cannot even buy a house at the moment. The interest rates are crazy, man. The houses are expensive. Some of them ain't even worth it. Just not, man. It's just difficult these days to survive. And she probably feel like that she might have saved some money or whatever. She got a plan, obviously. And I think her sister's going to help her out too. But the point I was making is women fought for so many dreams that the feminist lie told them, and now they losing it. Now it ain't even worth it anymore. Not what they want. She probably want to be married and have kids at this point. As long as she can have a happy life. Because she's not going to have that feminist talk where she going. That's not going to be there. That's going to be completely something different. It's a chance she might meet her husband there and have kids and live that lifestyle. But it's not going to be the same like living in the United States. And the fact that she's willing to give these freedoms in the United States, up, is very telling. Very telling. Like I say, man, so many people left now. And I feel like now that I'm a little behind, I got plans. I don't know, maybe God willing, maybe one day I'll be in another country doing these videos. You know what I mean? It's like I say, it's getting bad everywhere. And I'm older now, and the last thing I need to do is be sitting around thinking things are going to get better. Some people see the writing on the wall. They understand that we heading in a direction there's no turning back. And it's a sad thing. It's a sad thing, man. And she's probably, like I say, disappointed and feel like, she failed. But I don't think she failed. I just think the system failed her.
So lucky and privileged, and I will repeat this because I know a lot of people don't have the opportunity to just pick up and go. I do.
All right, that was pretty much it. Short video, but it definitely got to the point. It's basically telling you right now what's going on in Gen Z's minds right now. Because I see constant TikToks about people complaining. They never say who's causing all the problems for them. All they do is just complain. I just wanted to make that point. But they're complaining about everything, man. They can't afford the cars they have. The rent is rising because a lot of landlords, not all landlords, but a lot of landlords are getting greedy and stuff, and they can't buy houses. That's getting expensive. Even if you're able to buy a house, then you got to deal with the fact that your taxes might get risen up really high, that you're going to have to struggle. So it's constantly on your mind. You're thinking about money and the lack thereof. It's constantly on your mind. I think about money all the time. Even when things get start to you think you figured everything out and everything seemed to be straight at that time. Months later, you don't know what the city gonna do to you. They might raise your taxes really high. Because I've seen a lot of videos when people living in these states like California, New York, or whatever, they're getting these crazy taxes. And it's it's either double or triple. Crazy stuff they can't afford. People living in Florida, living in these condos, man. They all of a sudden it's some kind of fee because they don't maintain these condos. So now they putting it on the people that own the condos, and these people can't afford this. So where they gonna go? Personally, if they able to sell those condos, I would take that money because obviously they got money. They got enough money to buy these condos. After I got rid of the condo, I would do like she doing, just go overseas, man. Like I said, it might not be perfect anywhere else, and it might not last, but at least you want to go somewhere where, at least at present, you can live a decent and good life. You'll have memories. And people can't have any memory. I mentioned it before, man. I got memories. When I do my music reactions and stuff, and I listen to these songs and bring back memories of good times. But these Gen Zers don't have those type memories. They're constantly bombarded by, the failing system, not being able to afford anything. Can't even have babies, man, because they feel like they can't afford it. And that's a basic thing, a basic happiness people want, is to have a family. Even though a lot of women deny this, but deep down inside, this is what they want. Yeah, careers are fine, but it should be, based around a family, not the other way around. I saw this lady talking about that, right? Because she said so many people feel like they need to get a job. Women, they need to get a job first and then base their family around that, which is backwards. You're supposed to, a woman who's married and have children is supposed to base these, careers around their families. It's better. They're more fulfilled and happy that way. But I think there's a lot that's disappointing. And I think deep down inside, she don't want to leave. But it's just getting to that point now, man. You just got to find your happiness where you can find it. And if leaving the United States at this point is what you need to do, then so be it. Like I say, man, I love traveling. I love it. I've been to a few countries and I enjoyed the crap out of it. Yeah, there's a lot of chaos right now that's going on around the world, right? But people find little pockets of places to be happy and fulfilled. And they're not thinking about buying a bunch of clothes or a bunch of expensive cars and all that kind of stuff. They live in very nice, quiet lives with the time that they have. And I think that's what she wants now. She just wants that simple life. Not materialistic, not chasing after all kind of crazy stuff. She just wants a nice, decent life with people that's around her that love her. And I think most people want that now. And that's a blessing of God. I definitely have to say that. That's a blessing of God. Sometimes during turmoil and all the craziness, God show you what's really important. And I think God is showing her what's really important in life, especially that she's sick as well. All right, well, that's all I pretty much got to say about that. I really appreciate all of you coming by. Thanks again. This is T and Peace.